Hello everyone. Is audio okay? Waiting for two waiting for 2 more minutes to see if anyone else joins and we'll start. Can anyone confirm is audio okay? Okay, we're starting. First of all, I want to tell you a reminder that everything shared on this live stream is not a financial advice. It's just my thoughts of how market is gonna play out. So before you jump into any trade, always do your own research and manage your risk. So first of all, before jumping into the trade setups I want to share out, I want to talk about the partnership that I've done. As I have informed you on the last days, I have partnership with the BTCC exchange, and, a big exchange since 2011, 12 years operating with around $11 billion trading volume on the 24-hour. Also above 1 million users, easy to be used, and with the lowest fees on the market. Is one of the best exchanges that I have used since I have started trading crypto. This exchange offers only future trading, leverage trading. Soon on September, the team is working really hard to also update on the spot trading possibility and also on isolated margin. Because for now it's only cross margin. Big rewards every week and every day. Like you see, if you get registered, you can easily be one of the winners of al almost 10k USDT if you're lucky enough. Easy to be used. If you, it's a non-known exchange, so it can also be restricted in any places, any countries you are. But if you are in a country where the exchange is restricted, you can easily use it using a VPN. I personally used it using a VPN, so I haven't had any problem using it since I have started. If you want to get registered on it, please use the referral link that I have shared on the description, also on my Telegram channel and on my Twitter account. Soon I'll be sharing a giveaway. I haven't done it in a while, so I want to share out a giveaway. More details will be shared soon on my Twitter main account, also on my Telegram channel. But one of the rules that you have to, if I can say it, complete to be to participate on the giveaway that I'm about to do is you have to be registered on the BTCC exchange and deposit dollars. So because that's gonna be one of the rules to be participating on the giveaway. If you want to be registered on it, the referral link is shared on the description below and also on my Telegram and Twitter channel. So continuing to the trading setups. We had a big week. We have started a big week, big moves, especially today after a long time consolidation into the range zones. First of all, I hope you haven't been liquidated into this big move. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. The stream is with delay, so I can be the answer can be a little can come a little bit late. If I do not answer it immediately, I will answer them on the end of the this live stream. So starting with Bitcoin and Ethereum on macro context on higher time frames, for me nothing has changed as I have said on the last streams week in week out. We have just been range bound on this macro range. I want if you cleanly remember in the last stream, I talked about a big possibility here of having a double top pattern, which confirmation would be close under this weekly under this zone. It didn't. It held the zone, but uh, I've talked about the second possibility of an head and shoulders pattern here, which is bearish pattern, but also we need to have confirmations for that to be played out. So As always, let's mark out the key resistance and support areas. The key support area, which I've been mentioning for a long time now, is this key zone here, which has been acting as a macro range low and has acted twice as a big resistance area. Let's mark out the prices. It's around 32.4. 29.2 to the 32.4. This whole zone is the choppy zone and indecisive, so you can get easily burned trading inside this zone. If you want swing hold, because if you want scalp trades, you can use on lower time frames easily and be profitable. So marking out the key resistance area and the key support area, which I've been mentioning it for a long time now, making it on black and marking out the prices. Just a second. So last stream I also, because the last stream was the stream before the big breakdown, if I'm correct, I also talked about this big trend line, where I said that if we get a breakdown of this trend line, the price can dump. We can have a big dump, and what price did was came into the key resist support area, macro support area, and now from the it we have a around 12% move on a Bitcoin, which is not little. I'm not I'm not putting on the chart the mid range and the range low because I want to be short more clean. Okay, let's put the mid just in case that I want to share out a scenario that I also talked about it on the last stream if you can remember it, but I will repeat it now, marking the macro mid range. Okay, good enough. So as I've been saying on the last streams, last weeks, probably a month to now, what Bitcoin has to do for big swing trades was if we get acceptance above this key area here, which comes around 32.4, and on that time I can call for pretty higher prices for as long as we hold above it. If we get acceptance and consolidate even on lower time frames I call on daily 12 hour because we are monitoring the weekly time frame for now. But if we get acceptance above this key zone here, I think that price will probably target this zone here as first target. Second target, as I've been mentioning, would be this zone here, which also is correlated with the uh, macro mid range. And also if we are pretty on a bullish sentiment, we can also attack those highs here. But I just want to you to remember that those targets are just dreams for as long as Bitcoin price is under this key resistance area. If we get close above here, yes, we can see those prices here and here. But for as long as we are under it, we can just play range zone on this area here. Same for the bears. I talked about a bullish scenario. Now I'm gonna talk about the bearish one. Last stream, if you can remember it, last stream I mentioned one possibility of a double top pattern here on the key resistance area, which would be confirmed if we would get close under this zone here, and would also open the gate towards to play the range high towards the mid range. Also fill out all those inefficiency here. Same scenario for me is if we get close under this 24k zone, it all opens the gates towards the macro mid-range, which comes around 21.7, 21.3k. Like this, okay. 21.8, 21.3. So the other scenario, I talked about the scenario because of the RSI. We had since the I'm not yet convinced that this is the macro bottom. For as long as we are under this zone here, it's not a bottom. Price just the way it went to from here to here and we got rejected, it doesn't mean that price cannot come and revisit the lows again. In my opinion, this is key resistance area on macro. If we get above here, I doubt that the bottom is in. And what price has done is, I've talked about this one on a stream some weeks ago, if I can remember quietly. Uh, like this. Let's just make it pretty clean. Okay, I'm making this one on black. So moving RSI for a second. Also moving out those levels here. So deviation here, fake out. Let's make it like this. This is a macro range, just for your information. So why this cannot be a macro power of 3? I'm not targeting anything here, just talking about possibilities. That's why if we get above 30, okay, let's call it 33k. If we get above 32.5, 33k, in my opinion, the bottom is in, and for as long as this one holds, the bottom is in. Because if we get close above here, everything bullish, we get close under it, it's just a deviation and we go towards those levels again. I'm just talking with confirmations. Do not get me bad contacts. Confirmation would be close above here and consolidate. The possibility is that we move higher. But if we get close above here and back under, that would be pretty bearish for me, because what price has just done is deviated the macro resistance area, which also acted as macro support zone, and we would again revisit those prices here. Macro, I call it this zone here also range high. I'll explain this now, and also possibility that we come towards all those zones here and this macro support area. But that that's just fantasy for now, nothing confirmed. I'm just talking on possibilities. That why my thoughts are that if we get acceptance above 32.5, 33k, it opens the gates for pretty much higher. But let's say stay here for a while, marking the macro support area. Okay, here like this. And macro mid-range. For me, it's easier to find it on daily time frames. This zone here. Let me just mark the prices. So let's check again macro context weekly time frame. On the weekly, as I was explaining, bullish scenario, I explained it. Bearish scenario, close under this key zone area, fill the inefficiency, target the macro mid-range, and possibility even this macro range low. This, I do not consider this one as range low because this is the deviation zone which send us towards higher targets. But last week, since the 15k, 16k zone, what price has done is a low, high, higher low, higher high, and higher low. Here I doubt that the structure is broken. Why? Because of the RSI. The RSI is showing me that this is a bearish divergence, which doesn't convince me that this is a higher high. And now we have the lower low on the RSI. That's why the last stream that I talked about the possibility of a double top here, which would be confirmed if we get close under this zone here. But I also talked about not the only about the double top. I talked also about a possible head and shoulders pattern here. What I said, the price was around this zone, if I'm not wrong. I talked about the possibility of bounce here, come towards this zone again, bearish retest the trend line, bearish retest the macro resistance area, come again retest of the support macro support area, but this time break it. If we get close under it, in my opinion, the head and shoulders pattern is completed here, and we will have not a bearish retest here and come towards the macro mid range where I will bid maybe the hardest bids on spot for long-term holds. We'll watch out for it. Invalidation of the head and shoulders pattern is if we get close above this zone here. If we get close above 30k.5 on the weekly time frame, it invalidates my view. The view remains the same, that if we get close under this zone, we tag here, but the head and shoulders pattern gets invalidated. Is it clean enough, chat? If no response, I will continue. Okay, let's continue. Next, what I want to share out is macro context of Ethereum. This line here is the only line holding the crypto market in my opinion, and more holding the altcoins market. Let's mark out also the zones that we mark out every week on Ethereum. Key resistance area, let's make it on red, and this zone here, in my opinion, let me check it on lower time frames. just to make it accurate enough, is the range low, macro range high, macro range low. What price did? Rejection, deviation, rejected, rejected, rejected. For Ethereum to be bullish on the macro perspective, it has to get above this key zone here and hold it on lower time frames for a target of this zone as first target, macro mid-range, and the range high. Let's make macro mid-range dashed line. Also, I'm marking out on dashed line this zone here, but making it on a different color. If we get close above this zone here on Ethereum, I think that Ethereum has room to go upside towards the prices mentioned above. If we get a close under this blue trend line that I marked out from the bottom lows, I'm calling it bottom for now, but I don't know, I've talked about them on the other streams that those lows here and those lows here are very, very spicy lows that market in the meantime will come towards them and catch them to fuel the price for upper move. Next, what I want to mark out is this level here that for the moment it looks like Ethereum is recovering it. If we get weekly close 5 days from now above this zone here, in my opinion, Ethereum is gonna trade on this macro range here. If we close under here, this is just a bearish retest yet not confirmed, and the probability of breaking down of this trend line rises, so we gotta keep observing it. On the macro context, mid-range trades towards this zone here. I'm making it on blue. So if Ethereum gets a close under this trend line, first target would be this zone here. Second target, macro range quarter, making it dashed line. Second and the third target is the range lows. Normally, you have to take profit partially because you don't know that if we get close under here, you don't know that we're gonna go towards here for sure. No, if we get close under here, it opens the gates towards here. But there is a possibility that we close under and back above. If we get close back under and back above, this is a bullish deviation and it validates the target here and potentially even goes higher. So this stands for Ethereum on a macro time frame. Those are the key zones that I'm monitoring on it. If we talk about liquidity, on Bybit, liquidity here taken on Bitcoin. Also, I think on Ethereum, but there is a scenario that I'm monitoring, and I want to talk about with you on it. It's an interesting one that I find it really useful to share it with you. I'm not saying that it's gonna play out like that. I don't even know if I'm gonna trade it like that. I don't believe because I do not trade fractals. I trade pure price action, support, resistance, trend line, OBs, all of those things. But I want to check out this one with you. So if we look fractals and check the liquidity here taken. Let's make it like this. Liquidity here left. So let's explain it. Liquidity taken, down, liquidity here left. What price did? Here we had a big breakout candle of this low time frame range, 6% move, liquidity taken down. What did price do? Took the liquidity again here, and price rallied forward up. Now, why I'm calling this one here? On lower time frames, we had liquidity here full of liquidity. But also there is a big liquidity here staying around those zones. I'm just marking it out. Not saying that the price is gonna go towards there, but I think that here we caught and liquidated big. We call the liquidity big on lower time frames. So I'm not saying that the price is gonna come again towards this zone here, but those lows here are really interesting. We took out this one here, but what I'm looking where is my biggest interest? My biggest interest on the lows, longing the lows, or those lows staying on this zone here. I'm also making it on a different color just to be cleaner. So if we take out the fractal bars, let me just find them. Okay, here, let's just take them like this. Why price cannot do the same thing? Once again, attack the highs on lower time frames, come down, take the lows, and potentially even lower, take those lows here that I'm monitoring. Again, let's use the bars from here. It would be the perfect scenario in my opinion. Why I'm saying that? Because look at here. Take the lows here. Okay, let's clean those trend lines here. So take the lows here. Price comes here on this candle. Everyone is bullish because the announcement today. But do not forget that the ETF is not yet approved. That needs to be checked on the. I don't know exactly. I don't remember the dates where that it's gonna be approved or not, where the decision will be made. But this would be the best scenario that I would be looking on Bitcoin. Pull back from those zones, take the liquidity here, take the liquidity at the this area here at the which price comes around 23.8k, and fully send towards the highs which comes around 30.5k. This also is correlated with this the lowest part of the body of this key OB zone, and also is correlated with the key support area on the macro context that I shared about. This would be the main scenario that I would absolutely love to trade it. This is one of the scenarios that I'm looking at, but that would be confirmation if we get liquidity taken on this zone here. I would absolutely long it with the target, swing long with the target to the highs here. So I'm leaving these here, those zones, but I'm putting them with prices on it just to see where the liquidity stands, like this. key zones where liquidity stands. Uh, why this move was, I would not say predictable. I would not say a predictable move, but it was not a shorting move. I personally I shorted those highs here, taken out, but the pump was big, so I got stopped out, took a small loss, but it doesn't matter because I had an TRB long and still in profit, closed that one also. But one of the main reasons why this pump was predictable, that's why when I shared the OP scenario setup on the Telegram channel, I said that if you want to short this coin, if the market gives the trigger, it has you need to use the risk management correctly because it was high risk shorting. Why? Because let's check the daily RSI. When was the last time that we went this oversold? 17 June. What price did? Rallied up again. November, 9 November. What did price? Rallied up. Same here. What did price do? Rallied up. And the same thing here. We went to the oversold area on the daily time frame. That was the key thing to watch. I would not say the key thing, but that is one of the things to be monitoring on, I would say, higher daily or even higher time frames because it has a big accuracy. Here, this whole zone, we were overbought, and what price did? Dumped flashly. Same thing here, overbought above the 70 zone, consolidation and down. Again here on the, I would not go into the history. Also on the RSI, I found it something interesting to watch out. RSI is showing kind of an head and shoulders pattern, which for now, in my opinion, it's bearish retesting. Let's make these lines more obvious, like this. If the RSI manages to hold and close above this zone here, the head and shoulders pattern, in my opinion, is invalidated. Also, what is RSI doing is retesting the mid of the RSI channel, which comes around 50, which is exactly 50 zone. For now, it's the 52, it's above that, but in my opinion, it's just bearish retest of the broken RSI support. I don't use RSI as much for support and resistance. I don't find it really useful. I mostly look at it for bearish or bullish divergence and oversold or overbought indicator. Hello Zapax. Hope you're doing good, bro. Long time no hear. So these are the key liquidity zones that I'm monitoring. Also, we have on lower time frames, but I'm not really into the lower time frames. Watching them, I'm more into the swing trades, looking for some swing trades. Ethereum, full of liquidity. This zone here. Let me just check on the lower time frames. Those highs here are all all spicy enough to be taken. Lows here taken and rally up. On Ethereum, I've been talking about the lows that I've been monitoring. First, those lows. Second, I'm talking about the macro context. Those here. Third, and the key ones. On higher time frames, those all are the highs that I'm interested to see taken if we want price to come downside more, but First of all, it comes pure price action, which I'm gonna explain it on the next chart. Next, BTC, CME futures. We had one gap here, fully filled. I see this flat candle on the CME gap chart. It's interesting to see because flat candles most of the time are the candles that they act like a magnet. So where the price comes towards a flat candle, it reacts quite good. So I have my alerts here. If we get again tagged to zone here, I will be monitoring it really close to see the reaction here. Also, the CME gaps prices that I've marked out on the short are all loose. This also is a flat candle. Those two are flat candles. The other prices are all CME gaps. On short term, Bitcoin and Ethereum. Well, on short term, let's see what we get. I don't see any big resistance area until this zone here. So I would not be rushing to short this big pump. I'm also marking those highs here. Let's check on lower time frames to have a better view. I just want to talk also about a scenario that I shared on the last stream, if I'm correct. It was the market buy profile, but I'll first explain this one here. So what price did here? On lower time frames, it never gave a clean trigger for me to go long. This was the lower time frame range high. This, sorry, this zone here was the lower time frame range lows. Let's mark the prices. And here. What did price do? Deviation, a deviation under, deviation above, and choppy zone until the big breakout happened, and there was no trigger on the lower time frames. In my opinion, I'm monitoring this zone here, the 28.8k. I don't know if we gonna get there. I will be longing a bullish retest of this zone here, so I'm putting an alert on it. If we get here and fill all this inefficiency, I will be longing it gladly with invalidation close under the zone. But I also will be shorting a retest of this zone here with the invalidation of closing back above here, because if we get a close above the zone here, it's gonna give me a bigger it's gonna give me a bigger confidence that we will tag those highs here. So shorting here with invalidation close back above the zone. If we get close back above the zone, I will be reversed it to long, targeting this zone here, and the invalidation would be close under this zone here. Also, same thing here. If we get towards this zone here, I will be longing it with the target of this zone. Invalidation would be close under this zone, because if we get close under this zone, there is a big probability that the expansion would not stop here, but can easily go even more towards the lows that I mentioned, which comes around this zone. I talked about the possibility of a profile buyer. I don't know if I have the short here. I think this one. Okay. This one is short. Let me just a second. Okay. This was the main short that I shared on the last stream. I didn't even touch it. Look at where the gray zone is. So, well, that played out really well, I think. Really, really well. Just a deviation here, and a big expansion breakout. What price can do next, as you see here, is a bullish retest. I'm also leaving alerts on this deviation zone that there is a probability that price do not bullish retest the key breakout zone correctly and comes around here also rejected on this zone, a little smaller pullback, reaccumulation, and go even higher. But let's see what market does if we get here or on this zone that I talked about. Let's see. The main scenarios are the one that I shared previously before this short. I just shared this short because it played out pretty well, as you can see. Next short, Ethereum short-term views. Ethereum on short-term views. Let's mark the key support and resistance area. Okay. This zone here and this zone here. If we get close above this zone, let me just mark the prices. Checking it on lower time frames also. If price closes above this red zone here, in my opinion, it's gonna be pretty bullish and price will, in the short term, will trade towards this. Let's make it on blue zone. Marking the prices. Also here. So, Ethereum is looking to do something like it did here. Deviation, bullish retest, up. Possibly deviation, bullish retest, target here, and even those highs that I mentioned about. Cheers, sir. Have a good time. So, Ethereum, for as long as this zone here holds, it's pretty bullish in my opinion. And we can move towards this zone here. If we get close above the zone here, it opens the gates for the next target. But let me just also mention that if this zone is not held good and we do not consolidate above here for the move up, but we get close under it, this is a deviation first target, and the second target would be this zone here. It's clean enough, in my opinion. It's easy. You have only to go with confirmations. Next chart is BTC dominance. I've been talking about this one since it was retesting this zone here. I've been talking about it since it broke out above here, but I've been repeating it that it's bullish for as long as 49% zone holds. Big bounce from the 49% zone. It's also looking to deviate and reclaim the key support area. If we do this, then in my opinion, soon, pretty soon, the Bitcoin dominance is gonna trade towards the this high here and even potentially the 53% zone. Also, all correlated with the SBTC, which is breaking down of the orange trend line and losing this key support zone. I talked about SBTC being bearish since the highs here got taken out. Also, those lows here are resting really peacefully. For as long as SBTC is under the 6-3 zone, what price can do is above bearish test, close under it and target this zone of the lows here. Invalidation is simple, close above this key zone here and above the trend line. It rallies higher towards this supply zone. Next chart, dollar index. Bad daily candle today. Um, Breakout of the big bullish channel, bull channel or whatever we call. First target was here. Yes, we nailed it, and the price went even higher, taking those highs here. But I have doubts on dollar now. I'm more focused on GBP USD and our USD to have the a cleaner dollar index bias. So for now, let's just check. I think it's here. For now, it's just bearish retesting the deviation here. Bearish retest the broken trend line and down. In my opinion, for as long as GBP USD is under this zone of 1.2667, it's just bearish retesting and the targets are lower. First is this flat candle. Second target is this red zone and probably even those lows. Those lows here and those lows here are spicy enough to be taken. Also, Euro USD. I think I have the short here. Yes, lows taken. That's why dollar is getting heavily dumped because the lows on the Euro USD are taken. Euro USD, I do not have a clean view here. I don't know what price can probably do, but based on the GBP USD, it's just bearish retesting at. If I think that it's gonna be rejected on this zone here and trade lower towards where I set the flat candle and the second target is this red zone, but we need to see confirmations. We need to see confirmations. We are patiently for now. Next chart, let's talk about BNB sitting into the key support area. If we get close under this support area at the $210, there is a big possibility that BNB comes towards first this low here. Second one is this 140 zone, which also is on a daily time frame. Small support zone, not even that big. I don't know what CZ has to do, but if BNB loses this support here, yeah, it's gonna be in trouble. And there is a big possibility that price will fill all this inefficiency on the left side. If we get close under this zone on a 3D time frame or weekly time frame, I'll observe it. I will be swing short on BNB, targeting first target, second target, and third target if we get there. If we get there, because it's gonna be a big R and R move. Something like this. 6R move. It's not even that big, but the invalidation is pretty away, and the target is, yeah, it's big target. Let's see what market does, because CZ always has a plan, and we have to be protected for everything he does, because every time BNB is on danger, he with a magic trick he pops out an, I don't know, in any token and puts it on its launchpad, BNB launchpad, that pumps it even higher. Next order, what I want to show up, two lines on Arbitrum. If we get those lows taken out, I'll be absolutely long it with clean invalidation around this zone here. Targeting, first target would be this zone here. Second target is those highs. Third target and the final target is the 137 zone, which also cleans out all those highs. I have alerts set. I would absolutely love to see this movement develop. It's a cleaner source, so I don't think that there is any more needed to talk about it. I talked about the OP short. If we get close under under this zone here, it was the trigger, target the lows and even this zone here. What did price do? That's why you always need to wait for the confirmation, because price did break down of the trend line, but as I've been saying, always horizontal trend lines are stronger than the diagonal ones. Breakdown of the trend line, bounce of the horizontal support, and a big move. If you shorted without a confirmation of losing this zone here, you are probably wrecked, and you gotta learn the lesson. I'm still waiting for the OP to lose this zone here to get into short, targeting those lows here and even this zone here. Next short, I want to show this shitcoin. It has been moving magically since the breakout that I mentioned on the Telegram channel. 40% move, good game. Take profits if you're all on in. I took profits on those highs. It was good move. And the reason why today I talked about longing the TRB coin was because both of those coins are low supply coins, so they can be easily moved. This short reminded me of this one here. It was ready for a breakout, and the idea that I had was this one. Let me just put it on chart. Just a second to find it. Well, I think I have deleted the picture of the TRB. I will post it on channel as soon as I find it. But the main idea was retest of this low. When the price was here, I was waiting for a retest of this zone and trade it again towards the 16.6 highs. I took profit around this zone today earlier. Taking profits never send someone broke, so it was good play for me. Uh, I have alerts here, maybe. I don't know if I'll try shorting this shitcoin because I said it's low supply and can even go higher, but I have set alerts, just monitor it when it crosses that zone. Also, I'm monitoring the lows here. If we get close under the range high, short trigger, target here, invalidation is close back above. If we get close back above, there is a bigger possibility attacking the highs because we have a bullish deviation from the underside. The main reason why I longed this was the retest of this zone, and also that the this shitcoin here started chilling out. When this shitcoin pumps and starts its pullback, the profits usually go to this one here, and the reverse when this one tops, the next one usually started to move. It doesn't always go like that, but usually, so you got to keep them correlated. Lost short for today, sitting at the range lows. If price, this one is for long-term accumulation. If price gets under the range lows and back above, that would be the trigger for holding this shit going towards higher and higher prices. The deviation will give the trigger. So this is it. Do not forget about the giveaway thing that I mentioned on the start of the stream. BTCC exchange. I'm about to do a giveaway. Huge prizes coming. One of the rules that you have to be for participating on the giveaway, it's being registered on the BTCC exchange using my referral link. Also, if you find the content that I share here on live streams, Telegram channel, on Twitter account, if you find it helpful and I help you reaching profits, understanding the market movements, please use my referral link and trade on BTCC for the lowest fees on the market, and with the biggest campaigns and rewards every day and every week. So thanks for tuning in, all those who were watching the stream. Thank you for the support. Also remember that everything shared here is not a financial advice, it's just my thoughts of how market is gonna play out. I'm not a financial advisor. Always do your own research before jumping into any trades. Again, once again, thanks for your support and cheers.